You know, there's a journey a lot of us feel we're on, but we don't really talk about it. It's not about climbing some social ladder or networking your way to the top. No, this is about that deep, profound shift that happens when the world you thought you knew, well, it starts to feel like one big performance, and you find yourself making a choice to step outside of it all.
So how does it start? Usually it's quiet. Maybe it's that 3 a.m. feeling, you know? You're staring at the ceiling, replaying conversations, and this cold clarity just washes over you. It's that moment you realize the social game you've been playing feels, well, hollow, scripted, and just fundamentally not real. And this isn't just a bad mood, right? This is the start of something, a real awakening.
The first step on this path, it's not some big, dramatic explosion. It's way quieter, almost insidious. It's that slow, creeping feeling, the realization that the trust you built all your connections on, maybe it wasn't as solid as you thought. It's a kind of betrayal that happens in whispers, in the things left unsaid, not in angry shots.
And then it happens. That one specific, soul-crushing moment where it all becomes clear. It's when you see, without any doubt, that the people you counted on, the ones you really invested in, they just don't care. Not in the way that actually matters. And there's no big, dramatic villain speech. There's just a deafening, indifferent silence where you thought support would be.
And these situations, they're just so painfully familiar, aren't they? This isn't some abstract idea, this is real life. It's the friend who's always too busy the one time you actually need them. It's realizing you're the one sending every first text, making every single plan. It's that slow fade that makes you feel like a ghost in your own life, asking yourself, did I ever really matter to them at all?
So, after all that, what happens? A retreat. But it's so important to understand that this isn't failure. It's not about giving up. This is a conscious, strategic choice. It's you choosing your own survival, your own sanity, over the exhausting performance of pretending that everything is fine when it clearly isn't.
And this withdrawal, it's not some grand exit. You're not flipping tables or making a big announcement. You just stop. You stop showing up to the whole bullshit circus. You stop forcing the small talk. You just quietly, gradually disappear from a social scene that demands a performance you're just not willing to give anymore.
Now, this retreat can look different for different people. For some, it's a literal move, a geographic escape. For others, it's about leaving a career that demands you play a role all day. And sometimes, the choice is kind of made for you. You get pushed out for being too intense or too negative, just for speaking the truth. But for a lot of us, it's the silent fade. It's just a quiet conservation of your own precious energy.
The philosopher Schopenhauer he nailed this painful feeling perfectly. We crave connection, right? We need that warmth from other people. But in this world of performance and unspoken rules, getting close often just means getting hurt by each other's spines. So we back away to stop the pain. But then the cold sets in. It's this impossible cycle that makes retreating seem like the only sane option.
So, when you pull back from the external world, you're forced to go somewhere else. You're forced to go inward. And this is where the real work begins. It's a journey into yourself, to confront all the parts of you that you've been taught to hate, to fear, and to hide away. So, I want you to really take a second with this one. What are the thoughts, the impulses, the desires you've buried deep down? The parts of you that you've decided are unacceptable or wrong? Because right there, in that darkness, that's where your greatest power is hiding. The brilliant psychoanalyst Carl Jung actually gave this a name. He called it the shadow. And no, it's not some evil part of you. It's simply everything you've disowned about yourself. It's your unlived life. And the more you try to push it down, to pretend it isn't there, the more it actually controls you from behind the scenes.
And here is the absolute game changer. These so-called negative emotions, they're not character flaws, they're messengers. They're carrying vital information. Your anger, it's a massive signpost telling you a boundary has been crossed. Your jealousy isn't just some ugly feeling, it's a compass needle pointing directly at what you truly want. Listening to these things isn't dangerous, it's absolutely essential.
Now, I've got to be real with you. This process of confronting your own shadow is not easy. It often leads to what mystics have called the dark night of the soul. It's a time when the illusion of who you thought you were completely shatters. And it's terrifying. This is the point where a lot of people turn back. They run back to the comfort of denial. But pushing through is the only way to get to the other side. So, what's on that other side? Wholeness. After the retreat, after the inner confrontation, something new starts to grow. The walls you built, just to protect yourself, they start to transform. They become the foundation for a deep, unshakable self-sufficiency. You're not just surviving anymore. You're building a whole new kind of strength from the inside out.
And we have to get this next part straight because it's everything. There is a huge difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is that painful feeling of being left out, of waiting for someone else to come and save you. But solitude? Solitude is a choice. It comes from a place of power. It's the state of being whole all by yourself, not waiting but actively building a life that has meaning on your own terms.
And that leads to another massive shift, from performance to presence. Performance is exhausting, right? It always needs an audience, it's always looking for validation, and it just drains your energy. But presence, true authentic presence, that's its own reward. It's self-sufficient, it actually conserves your energy because you're no longer playing a role. You're just being.
This new kind of strength, it's built on 4 pillars. First, radical self-honesty, just facing the truth about yourself and others. Then, value independence. That's about creating your own moral code, not just accepting one. Third is emotional self-sufficiency, where you become your own source of stability. And finally, intellectual courage, the willingness to question everything and speak uncomfortable truths.
And this really is what it all boils down to. It's the ultimate transformation. Your life is no longer just a series of automatic reactions to social pressure, to guilt, to what other people expect from you. You move from a state of reaction to a state of conscious choice. You choose your path. You choose your life.
The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, he understood the stakes just perfectly. Stepping away from the crowd, from what's safe and accepted, it feels like you're losing your footing. It's scary for sure. But the alternative, not daring to take that step, well, that's how you lose yourself completely. You become the role you're playing instead of a real person.
So what this whole journey shows us is that the goal was never about being perfect. The endless performance of being likable or good, that was the trap all along. Wholeness, that's the real path to strength. Embracing all of it, the light and the shadow. The world doesn't need any more perfect people. It is desperate for whole people. So the only question left is, are you ready to become one?